Welcome back to r/LegalAdvice, where people ask questions, get advice, and we get satisfaction. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our amazing community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Help! Our cat sitter is refusing to give us our cats back and is making false neglect allegations. New York, USA. I will try to be brief and try not to ramble, but I am feeling really upset right now. My husband and I recently had to travel to Italy for a week at short notice due to a death in his family. We have 2 cats, a 2-year-old female British Shorthair and a 6-year-old male Moggy, and didn't have time to organize a boarding stay, so a coworker referred me to her 22-year-old daughter who pet sits and house sits on occasion. She works with a rescue organization, so we felt comfortable with her pet sitting even though we had only met her a handful of times. She always seemed nice and had, in the past, expressed delight at seeing pictures of our cats, particularly our BSH. And the immediacy of our travel arrangements did not give us a lot of options. While we were away, we heard from her every second day, and her updates seemed fine and happy, and she included pictures here and there of the cats, and they seemed reasonably content. We left heaps of food and litter and a little instruction list as our BSH has daily eye drops. When we arrived home from the airport, our house was all locked up and she and the cats were nowhere to be found. I called her and she told me that when she arrived in the evening there was no food or water left for the cats and she had taken them because she felt we had
clearly neglected them
and that she would not be
releasing them back into your care.
Her words. I told her that was not at all the case and asked why she had not mentioned any of this in our communication. She hung up on me and has not since answered any of my calls or returned any texts. This is completely insane. We fed our cats wet food in the morning and left them with 2 bowls of biscuits and 2 water bowls, and our cats are obviously not neglected. They are both happy and healthy and had an annual vet visit a month beforehand, and both were given a clean bill of health and vaccination boosters. Anyone who knows me knows I love my cats and take the best care of them. My coworkers joke that I am a crazy cat lady because I am such an attentive owner. We found out that while we were away, she had been posting on her Facebook and Instagram accounts about saving 2 neglected cats from a bad home. The only evidence she posted of the neglect was a picture of an empty water bowl that was not even ours or taken in our home. There were all sorts of comments telling her what a hero she was, and when one person commented on a picture of our cats that they did not look neglected, she became really aggressive towards the person and said,
"It looks worse in person,"
which it doesn't. I think she's crazy and she just wants our cats or wants to be seen as a hero or something. I called the police station and they didn't want to know about it and told me it is a civil property dispute. It has been 6 days and I am absolutely heartbroken. Her mother, my coworker, is siding with her daughter and has been bad-mouthing me at work and is refusing to talk to me. I have no idea what to do. All of the cats' microchip details are in my name and I have called all the local vet clinics advising them that my cats have been stolen and they will call me if they come in. I have amassed a collection of photographs and the vet's health assessment as evidence that the cats are not at all neglected, but I just don't know what to do. Please help me. Edit. Thank you so much everyone for your replies. My husband and I are going to go back to the station tonight after work and try again. If our concerns are dismissed again, we will take it higher. We are also going to look into lawyers tonight. We have printed off all of her Facebook and Instagram posts regarding our cats, and we also have all the communications from when we organized the cat sitting through to the happy, positive messages she sent us while we were away, as some of them were sent to us at the same time as she was posting her neglect stories on Facebook. I really hope to be able to provide you with a happy ending update soon. And a user in the comments said, as well as following the good advice that has been posted here, insisting on police filing a report of theft and contacting a lawyer, you should also contact the organization she volunteers for. be exceedingly polite yet honest, it was partially due to the fact that she is a representative of their organization, which volunteers are, that you trusted her to sit for your cats. Give the volunteer coordinator a breakdown of the situation and ask for them to help you find a solution. Tell them that you know organization would never advocate per theft and any help they could give you would be great. If they are reputable, they will take this very seriously. I volunteered for my local SPCA and they are serious about reputation. And another person in the comments said, I'm not a lawyer in the US/New York, nor do I do litigation. Number 1, animals are property, therefore the cats are your property. Number 2, the cat sitter was granted access to your place for one purpose, which is to care for the cats. She did not have your permission to remove the cats. Number 3, it is irrelevant whether the cats were neglected, even if they were, she does not have the standing to remove them. Even if a child was neglected, a passerby cannot remove them. It is irrelevant that she works in a rescue organization. Number 4, go to the police. She misappropriated your property. It is a criminal case, notwithstanding that you have a civil cause of action against her. Number 5, if the police refuse to take steps to address the issue, get a lawyer and send her a letter of demand. I am thinking tort of conversion. Number 6, again, it is irrelevant whether or not the animals were neglected. She does not have the right to just take your property, and there should not be any need for you to prove anything to her except that the cats are yours and she took them without your permission. And guys, I would say this is a clear case of a catnapping with an entitled cat sitter. And I am wondering, since I know that many of you own pets and especially cats, what would you do if this type of situation happened to you? Let us know in the comments, and now let's take a look at the update. Update to the cat sitter story. Thank you so much to everyone who commented and PM'd on the last thread. You have no idea how much your support meant to me and how much it lifted my spirits. I'm so pleased to be able to update you that Petal and James, the cats, are safely back home with us. We followed everyone's advice and called up the shelter she works at and advised them of the whole situation. We told them about how her credentials as a rescuer/foster carer were originally what made us feel comfortable about using her services, that she had taken the cats and was alleging abuse, that she had failed to take Petal's eye drops, our concerns are animal hoarding, etc., and we advised them that we would be pursuing her with the police and a private lawyer. I say we, but it was really my amazing husband who made the call while I was stuck at work. That same day I had an awkward moment where both myself and her mother were alone together in our office kitchen, so I decided to just be really forthright with her and said, I think you should know that husband and I have contacted the shelter your daughter works for, and we have also filed theft reports with the police and have taken on a lawyer. We are also notifying animal control about the number of pets she has. It is not too late for her to stop this. We actually hadn't gone to the station or called a lawyer yet, but I thought it might sound more serious. I don't know if it was her mom or the shelter that called her and told her to do the right thing, but my son called me at work just 2 hours later, telling me that the daughter's boyfriend had just dropped Petal and James back home. My son said the boyfriend didn't say much and he didn't seem to know much about the drama. He just left the cats in my son's care and left. I left work immediately and came home to my babies. Oh, and my son, of course. Both were well and safe, and we saw the vet that evening and had some tests done that we are still waiting the results for, but all in all they seem fine. Petal's eyes were fine and the vet said it's possible she had access to the drops through the shelter, so that is a small mercy. We still have not decided if we are going to take it further legally. We have reported her to animal control regarding her pet numbers, but have her Instagram and Facebook have gone into privacy lockdown, so I don't know if she's still keeping the hero/victim narrative going or if there have been any consequences with the shelter. Again, thank you so much to everyone, and I hope you can all rest a little easy like I can, knowing that James and Petal are where they belong, back home with us. And guys, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to like the video and post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support my channel. Thank you so much in advance, and now let's move on to the title HOA Story. This one is titled Orange County, Southern California, very restrictive HOA threatening to sue me for brown grass. Please, let's not make this a discussion on your love or hate of HOAs, whether you would live in one or not, etc. I know what I purchased into and generally have been overwhelmingly happy with my choice to live here. I don't think it is a mystery to anyone outside California, let alone inside California, that we are under a very severe drought. There are all kinds of restrictions on how long you can water your lawn, wash your car, etc. I'm not on great terms with the HOA president. I ran against him 8 years ago and he lost after serving on the HOA as the president for about 12 years. I was the HOA president for the past several years and had to step down recently 2 years ago due to work and family obligations. During my tenure, we, the HOA board, made a lot of changes and updates to the CC&Rs and architectural guidelines. Many residents wanted significant updates made to the architectural guidelines that resulted in a lot of the residents really liking me, fast-tracking applications, reductions in fines, etc. The biggest change implemented by the HOA board was the way we dealt with the myriad of minor infractions to major violations. We created a new escalation and prioritization strategy where we were a lot more kind, practical and forgiving to the residents and allowed them to correct their violations in a timely manner rather than outright fine them from day one and try and place a pricey lien against their property for non-payment. Because we also use a third-party property management company to help run the community, we did an analysis and found that unless we were collecting more than about $100 worth of violations, it simply was not worth our cost as the HOA ended up losing money while trying to collect. Leaving your trash can out longer than the guidelines allow for are a $15 fine, for example. This new approach was overwhelmingly appreciated by the residents of the community, except for the former president, as when he ran the show, he acted like a tyrannical a-hole who felt a need to fine. No matter what, no first-time friendly reminders, no nastygram threatening a fine, just straight to the fine with really mean-spirited, cold and legalese languaged note. Think of the stereotypical HOA a-hole who measures residents' grass height in the community. Yeah, that's not too far off of a mental image of this guy. The other thing we did was restrict the power the HOA president has when it comes to levying fines, voting and veto power, etc. Collectively, the rest of the HOA board was scared of this other president and were happy to aid in diminishing the power that the president has in leading the community. He is back in power and been so for about 2 years now. He seems to have focused his severely diminished power onto me. Now that you have an idea of the backstory, I have severely cut back my lawn watering, as have several other neighbors, and one can imagine a lot of the lawns in the community have more brown in them than green. I have been really disconnected from the HOA's happenings for the past couple of years, and it is now my understanding that the president has bullied some of his powers back. My issue: on Saturday I got a letter in the mail from the HOA informing me that I have 14 days now to correct my brown grass, and if no major improvement is made, I will face a $50 per day fine until it is brought up to standards. What do I do at this point? Unfortunately, the most recent iteration of the community standards do not address lawn watering and its subsequent acceptable green tone during times of drought, restricted water usage, etc. It simply says that we need to maintain a clean, well-appointed, well-landscaped and well-watered yard. California's leadership has asked us to cut back on our non-important water usage. The letter goes on to state that they will sue me for failure to pay if this has to persist beyond 30 days. Should I get a lawyer to draft the HOA a letter telling them to F off, alert the local media and shame the HOA? Any help here would be appreciated. And a user in the comments said, hey, the governor of California recently signed a bill and this tells HOAs to F off with this for the most part. Here is a PR release from the State Water Agency to provide some context on the intent of the bill. It states that SB 992, which does not apply in HOA neighborhoods that use recycled water, prohibits HOAs from fining homeowners that reduce or discontinue lawn watering during a statewide drought emergency. The law goes into effect immediately. However, you will want to research into exactly how your particular HOA agreement interacts with the bill. From a quick reading, I don't think you can keep your lawn brown just because California's leadership has asked us to cut back on our non-important water usage. However, if your locality has either a water-efficient landscape ordinance adopted or in effect pursuant to subdivision C of the section 65595 of the Government Code, or any regulation or restriction on the use of water adopted pursuant to section 353 or 375 of the Water Code in effect, that should give you an excuse. Or you could go ahead and say you are going to switch out your lawn for low water using plants as a group or as a replacement of existing turf, because they are no longer allowed to prohibit that. So I would consult with a lawyer and maybe also get a quick note from a landscaping company for how much it would cost to rip out your lawn and throw down some rocks and cactus for a nice xeriscape. And another user in the comments suggested, I would definitely be talking to a real estate lawyer in your community who can advise you and what can be done. If you can afford it, then it would be great to take them to court on this as long as the lawyer thinks you have a good case. It seems like demanding you watering your lawn is against public policy right now in California. I don't live there, so I don't know if it is against the law or not. I would also be contacting any local water agencies or governmental water conservation agencies to inquire about this and seek their assistance. And now we will read an update to the HOA story from before. I called my contact over at the outsourced property management company yesterday afternoon that helps run our HOA and spoke with her about the mean-spirited letter from the HOA. She had no idea what I was talking about. All HOA letters come from the company as they have the ability to retain digital copies of all letters of violation. My contact looked into their system and could not find a letter. She went on to say that what I was discussing was not policy of the HOA or the company. She asked that I email a scanned copy of the letter to her so she could do some investigating. OP, you used to run the damn show over there. You know the rules inside and out. Plus there's more or less a water ban. We have not sent a single letter to any homeowner in your HOA or others about suing them and fining them for brown yards. We are in a drought. Plus I'm fairly sure the governor made it illegal for HOAs to fine a homeowner for brown grass during a drought. You see where this is going. After a couple of hours I got a call back from her and her boss. They claimed that they did not send this letter, and the only logical conclusion is that the HOA president sent this on his own with their letterhead. This then turned into about a 15-minute bitch session about the current sitting HOA president, how he bothers the company a few times a week with attempting to cite homeowners with even the most minor infractions, and how he has become increasingly mean to them, how he is a thorn in their ass, and that they wished I would come back as HOA president.
Angry little Napoleon idiot,
was the nicest thing that they had to say about him. I gotta tell you, the candid conversation was pleasing. The other board members have also made comments over the past few months here and there to the company that they are not too pleased with this asshat. I was told to save but ignore the letter and to please attend the next HOA meeting, which happens to be next week, so I can issue a formal harassment claim against the HOA president. According to the company, they consider this a gross abuse of the position and will be making an issue of this during the next HOA meeting. They will formally ask him to step down, and if he does not, the HOA board can choose whether or not to remove him from this position and bar him from holding any position on the board ever again. They seem pretty confident that a case could be made to remove this guy. So that's it for now. Furthermore guys, if you want to hear more HOA stories, please let me know in the comments. And the next one is another update to the crazy HOA president's story. As a user in the comments correctly predicted, he is done as president of the HOA. The property management company has the ability to forcibly remove any board member if it serves the community's interests. According to our property manager, this is the first time in nearly 20 years of existence that they have had to do this. I, alongside several other neighbors, got up and ranted about the harassment and how we feel the current president is incompetent, etc. The board and the property management company voted on the spot to out him. The property manager is acting as a stand-in president until a special election in September. All major budgetary decisions have been put on hold until then. In a private conversation with the property manager, they are considering suing the guy, but are likely to just drop the issue altogether. They will be having one of their lawyers draft him a very nasty letter, telling him to never impersonate the company again, and if he does, to expect a lot of legal pain. That is pretty much it, nothing more to say. No, I do not want to be the president again, I do not have the time to do it, but I will be making a recommendation to the board and I am going to hope that they encourage this person to run. And guys, unfortunately, we have already reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and if you haven't already, please also go to patreon.com/ripeyoutube, where I upload exclusive Reddit videos starting at just $3 a month. This is a great way to support me in case you are interested, and the chance for me to become independent from YouTube revenue. Thank you so much for watching, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.